So welcome back to the garage, and if you're interested in track days and how to get into them or make the most out of them, keep watching this video because we're going to go through some really good talking points that cover costs, best methods of practice, and generally just how to get the most out of your day and some of the things you can do to prepare for that. So yeah, keep watching. Let's go. Alright then, I'm going to sit in the car because it's freezing cold. Right, track days then everyone. A few things I want to go through. Listen, I won't make this video really long. I just want to cover the fundamental basics so that if you're new to it and you're a beginner, that you can enjoy yourself and make sure that you're safe and that others around you are safe as well. It's the main fundamental point of doing this, I think, because you want to come back. You want to come back, you don't want to hurt anyone, you want to have a good time. Now, let's start at the top then. So the car. The car itself, above all else, needs to be safe. If you're not a mechanically minded person that knows his or her car throughout and can trust that it's safe, then get it checked out. It's not worth skipping. You can't do it for yours or anyone else's sake. So if you're not that person, book it in with a garage for a safety check. Be honest with them. Phone them up, pop in and say, look, I'm interested in doing a track day. I'm about to book one. Can you please run a check on my car and ensure that it's safe for me to do so? And let me know if I should be doing anything before I do that. And if you find a good reputable garage, do your research, find a good reputable garage. They'll look after you. They're normally car people anyway, so they'll be buzzing to look after you and get you out on the track, I'm sure. That's the first bit. You must do that. The next step is for you to take the responsibility yourself to ensure that you carry that out before and on the day. So I would, the night before or the day before, run your car up, check the levels, check the oil, check the coolant, make sure the car stops, make sure it turns. Do the same the next morning. Do the same when you get to the track. You can't check enough. I promise you. It doesn't take long to do, but it can save you an absolutely cataclysmic failure. Also, when you're on the track day, continue to do those checks throughout the day after every single session. After every session, you want to be giving the car a little bit of a rest. You want to check your tyre pressures. You want to check your oil, check your coolant, and check your wheel bolts. Check your wheel bolts to make sure that they're torqued and they haven't come loose. If you haven't got a torque bar, torque wrench yourself, borrow one. There'll be someone there with one. If I'm on a track day and someone asks me, can I borrow a torque wrench? No problem. Absolutely no problem. Get on the Google if you don't know already, find out what your torque settings need to be and torque them up. The last thing you want, and it's frequently overlooked actually, the last thing you want is to miss that and something terrible happen. So you must do that. I can't say that enough. Check, 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 check. Go over the top with it. Safety first. So that's the car side of things covered in terms of the basics with it. I do think that with regards to the car, you don't need to go mad with modifications, and you absolutely don't. If it's your first day out, we ran this as a standard road car pretty much on the first day, but there are a couple of things you must do, and it really is on the topic of just stopping. You must be able to stop throughout the whole day. So there's a couple of things that will play a big part in that. You must have good fluid. You need to ensure you have good, high temperature fluid, because if you boil it and you lose your pedal, something bad could happen, and you don't want that. You don't want to endanger yourself, anyone else, and you don't want to hurt your car. And trust me, you'll do one of, if not all, those things. Get some good fluid in there. Get some decent pads in there. Now, your pad choice might depend on what the intended use for the car is the majority of the time. If it's a track-focused car, you could go for a heavy track-focused pad, whereas if it's not, you might not want to do that. Typically, track-focused pads create a lot of dust, they make a lot of noise, and they don't last very long. So if it's your daily that you want to have some fun on a track, do your research. There's plenty of brake pad manufacturers out there that can accommodate for your needs. We ran EBC yellow stuff on the first day, we ran blue stuff after that, and now we're up to a more serious pad. But you can get EBC, PBS, Mintex, Ferodo, Tarox. The list is endless. Do your research, talk to some people, see what suits you best. So we've covered the fluid, covered the brake pads. That's really the main modifications for it. Hopefully you or the garage have checked your tyres to make sure they're of a safe amount of tread so that you can enjoy the day without having to drive home on slicks or experience that issue whilst on the track, because that's very, very unsafe and illegal. So don't subject yourself to that, but you will make it round the track on a set of road tyres. If you can afford it, I definitely suggest a set of good tyres. Good quality road tyres, if you can afford it. Depending on the purpose for the car, again, you can go for like a semi-slick or something in between. Again, do your research and decide what you want to use the car for. But those are the main things. Being safe, stopping, making sure the car's safe all the time, doing your checks. You've got to manage yourself a little bit, is my next bit of advice. So if you go out there intending to win the track day, which isn't even an option, but be the fastest you can physically be out there, you're going to set yourself up for failure. I would just really ensure that you understand it's your first track day. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and build yourself up gradually. Learn first. Learn yourself, learn the car, learn the track. On the subject of learning the track, with regards to tracks, my advice is book a local circuit first. Because if you're new to it and the car's new to it, you don't know what will happen or what could happen. So the last thing you want to do is subject yourself to a 3-hour drive each way. And if something happens, you've got to come home early. You've driven 3 hours to be there for an hour and you've got to drive 3 hours back. I would suggest going local. There is track day organisers in the plenty. There are track days all throughout the year at various different locations. With track day organisers, we've used 3 or 4 now and never had a bad experience really. But they all offer the same sort of thing, of course, but there are slight differences. The most important thing I can suggest is pick one that has, and the most of them do, the option to either purchase or take advantage of a free tuition session. It is absolutely imperative in my eyes that you do that. You will not get any better value than that in any sense. You can do any modification to your car. You can turn up in whatever car you think you've got. You can turn up in all the gear. If you don't know some of the stuff these guys can teach you, you'll never maximize your experience on a track day. These are professionals. They will teach you how to use the car properly. They will teach you things about yourself you need to know, habits and so on, and they will teach you how to maximize the potential of the track. It's absolutely imperative. I don't think you can pay for enough tuition until you get to the point where you're faster than the man teaching you, which is unlikely. So take advantage of the tuition. I remember one day I did it on a wet session. Thought I knew what I was doing. I'd already booked the tuition. It had started raining, so we went out with the instructor and it was wet. And it is night and day. The things that he taught me that I wouldn't even think of is absolutely unfathomable. So do that. Do it. And I think there you can just build from there, really. So make sure that when you're there, you're set up safe in the car, your seating position's comfortable, you've got the seat where you want, you've got the steering wheel where you want, your mirrors are set so you can see the traffic behind you because it's going to come and it's going to come past you. Make sure that you're set up and you're comfortable. Make sure that any loose items are out of the car because you don't want them rolling around, distracting you, making a noise, or more importantly, you don't want something popping out or slipping out and getting caught under one of the pedals. Absolutely catastrophic potential problem there. So make sure you do that. Set yourself up, get comfy, take all the crud out of the car that you don't need. And really then just start slow. Start slow and build up and you'll enjoy yourself. Typically these track days offer 15-minute sessions, like you'll be able to go out open pit lane, which means they open the pit lane in the morning and it's just a free-for-all in essence, but they moderate it to sort of probably 10, 12 cars on the track, no more than 15 minutes at a time. I assure you now, if it's your first time, you will not need to abuse those 15-minute sessions in their entirety. Steady does it. You don't want to cook your car, fatigue yourself. Take advantage of as much as you feel comfortable to do until you feel that your performance is dropping off, or your attention span's dropping off. Come in, give the car a good rest, regroup, do your checks, then go out again. and build up slowly but surely. Just gently build up. At the end of the day, you don't want to overcook yourself, like I say, by fatiguing. You don't want to wear the car out either. If it's your daily and stuff like that, you will definitely cook the car. If you abuse it, you will cook it. You'll hurt the brakes, you'll hurt the tyres, and you might do something more sinister. So gently does it. And I think that's probably it. Above all, be safe and enjoy yourself. But if you follow those very simple little pieces of advice, I sincerely believe you'll have a really good day and you'll want to come back for another one. And the people around you will be happy to see you again. And I think that's all there is to it, really. And then from there on, you can gradually build up and modify yourself in the car as you see fit, as experience allows, as budget allows. But that's a topic for another day, I think. So I think that's it, and we'll leave it there. I'll say thanks ever so much if you're watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like. It really helps us out. If you want to see more, then do subscribe. Feel free to look through our previous content. And we always, as normal, welcome your comments. So feel free to drop a comment below. But thanks very much, everybody. Take it steady. Enjoy your Christmas if we don't see you before. And we very much look forward to seeing you in